Each bank has its own vibe, its own culture, and its own history, and we're going to explore both of them today. Are you a rive droite or a rive gauche kind of a person? There are 20 arrondissements in Paris, starting with the first and spiraling out from there. The thing that divides these arrondissements is the Seine River. So the Seine divides the city in half. Everything above the Seine is the right bank, like Le Marais. Everything below the Seine is the left bank, and that's what we're going to talk about today. That's right, the City of Light is divided into two halves, rive droite and rive gauche, and there is always a battle going on which is the better half of the city. I will share my thoughts, my personal preference, if I'm a left bank or right bank kind of a girl, later on in this episode. Each bank has its own vibe, its own culture, and its own history, and we're going to explore both of them today so that you can decide. Actually, I prefer that you don't decide until you get there. So wait till you get there, see what you think, see where you feel most comfortable, see which side of the city speaks to you. Are you a rive droite or a rive gauche kind of a person? Back in 1765, there were only 12 arrondissements. You don't have to keep saying arrondissement. When you're there, I don't have to keep saying it. The Parisians simply refer to these neighborhoods as the 4th, the 5th, the 1st, the 16th, the 18th. But back then, there were only 12 of them. And Napoleon III decided to revamp the city. We'll talk more about that in future episodes. This is the same Napoleon III that I referenced in the last episode on the Eiffel Tower. But when he changed the city, it was up to 20 arrondissements, and it's stayed that way ever since. So let's start with the right bank, the rive droite. This is a side of the city associated with commerce, industry, and high society. It was originally a place where the industrious, or Paris's wealthy class, lived. It's a bustling heart of Paris today. It's lots of business, lots of luxury, and here on the right bank, you will find some of Paris's most iconic landmarks. The right bank is home to the Champs-Élysées, arguably one of the most splendid, magnificent avenues in the world, stretching from the Arc de Triomphe to the Place de la Concorde. It's lined with shops and theaters. And as you're getting ready for your trip, it's probably really easy for you to imagine yourself there strolling down this grand boulevard, taking in the sights, taking in the sounds of Paris at its most glamorous. It's so easy to imagine yourself there because you've seen countless pictures. It's been filmed in numerous movies. The Champs-Élysées is definitely something to experience. And of course, do not forget the Rue de Faubourg Saint-Honoré. This is where all the major fashion houses live. For those of you fashionistas, this is a part of the right bank that you definitely do not want to miss. This is where those houses like Dior, Chanel, and Hermès showcase their latest collections. The right bank is the epitome of elegance and sophistication. But it's not just about sophistication. The right bank is also a cultural hub. On the right bank, you will find the Louvre, the world's largest art museum, which finds its home on this side of the Seine. Originally a royal palace, it now houses thousands of pieces of art. In fact, if you wanted to see every piece in the Louvre, rumor has it that if you spent 30 seconds in front of every piece in the Louvre, it would take you well over a month to see them all. But it is home to the beautiful and enigmatic Mona Lisa, of course, Venus de Milo, and my personal favorite, the Winged Victory. Further north, you will find the stunning Palais Garnier, which is the opera house and inspiration for Gaston Leroux's famous, infamous Phantom of the Opera with its grand marble staircase and chandeliered foyers. It is a testament to the grandeur of the right bank. So you get the feeling for the right bank. It's big, it's amazing, it's luxurious, you're going to love it. It's also the home of the Marais, which is a very sentimental neighborhood for many people. Many people that visit Paris find the Marais is one of their favorites. For those of you watching on video, I bet you didn't know there were going to be costume changes on this podcast. That's right, you can watch this podcast on Spotify or on the Paris with Angela YouTube channel. I'm brand new to this and still a little nervous. Like I said, thank you so much if you tuned in to my very first episode on the Eiffel Tower. My name is Angela, and I have been online for the last just about 20 years as Parisian farm girl, and 2 to 4 times a year I lead tours in Paris with those Parisian farm girl followers that would like to join me there. So I'm about to share with you that I am a left bank, a rive gauche kind of a girl. I love the left bank. And just like you were probably able to picture yourself on the Champs-Élysées if you are planning your own trip to Paris, I bet that you can also picture yourself in a cozy little cafe in the Latin Quarter. This is the historic student district. The air is filled with chatter. The students have just gotten out of school. You can smell the coffee. You can smell, and just the intense conversations are right there for the taking. This area is home to the Sorbonne, one of Europe's oldest universities, the Panthéon, which is a sort of secular church, and it is the final resting place to famous names like Madame Curie, Josephine Baker, Voltaire, Dumas, and more. That's right, the left bank is a haven for the arts. In the early 20th century, it was the epicenter of the literary and avant-garde movement. Writers like Ernest Hemingway and F. Scott Fitzgerald frequented places like the legendary Shakespeare and Company bookstore, which is still there today. You can still visit it. When you visit the Shakespeare and Company bookstore, make sure that you've allowed a little extra time for yourself, as the line to get in can be very long. And remember that there is no video or photography allowed inside. Right nearby is the Caveau de la Huchette. This jazz club is housed inside a building from the 1500s. They say that the Templars and the Masons used to meet there, but it's been a jazz club since 1946, and you may be familiar with it as it was featured in the film La La Land. The Caveau de la Huchette is something that's on my list every time I visit Paris. The artistic tradition doesn't stop there. It continues in many museums and galleries throughout the left bank. The left bank is the home of the Musée d'Orsay, housed in a famous railway station, which showcases masterpieces from the Impressionist era, including works by Monet, Degas, Van Gogh, and more. I will be doing an episode solely on the Musée d'Orsay in the future. Don't worry, it's one of my favorites. The left bank also boasts charming neighborhoods like the neighborhood of Saint-Germain-des-Prés, thus the t-shirt, once a gathering place for existential thinkers like Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. Today, it's a vibrant area filled with boutiques, art galleries, and historic cafes like the Café du Mégot and Café de Flore. So hopefully that explanation, that brief explanation of each side of the city, gives you a feeling for what you might enjoy and for what you might someday end up calling your favorite side of the city. Whether you decide to be a rive droite kind of a person, or you want to join me on team rive gauche. That's up to you. I'd love to see in the comments, if you are watching this on YouTube, let me know what side of the city you prefer, or what you look forward to visiting if it's going to be your first time. Thank you for joining me. My next episode is going to be on cafe etiquette. And of course, if you would like help planning your tour, if you'd like a private tour of Paris, or you'd like to come on one of my group tours, don't hesitate to reach out with me. If you'd like to come on one of the group tours for April of 2025, I have 8 spaces left. You can wait till the end of this video and click the link, or of course, check the show notes. I would love to help you with your trip any way that I can. This show is sponsored in part by Dry Farm Wines, so I invite you to drink these amazing biodynamic and organic wines from small French farms and chateaux, and beyond. This is the wine that I drink, and you can enjoy a bottle for a penny with your first order. Stay tuned for more Paris with Angela, the podcast for Paris lovers and trip planners. À bientôt.